Hey everybody, welcome back to Tutorial Tuesday. I missed you. This is gonna be an interesting day to film because there's a big group of middle-aged guys over there. They're all watching me. So today I am going to start a new little series where I'm gonna break down the question that I probably get asked the most, which is, how do I learn how to freestyle better? This is a question that I get a lot because I think shuffle dancing, more so than a lot of other forms of dancing, is pretty much based in a culture of freestyle. And you know, you go to shows, you don't really know what song the DJ is gonna play, and you kind of just have to get a feel for the beat, get a feel for the music, and then figure out how to put your moves to it. So there are a lot of components that kind of go into being good at freestyling, and the one that I want to talk about today is going to be the dance grid. I'm going to break down a super simplified version of the dance grid for you, which is an amazing tool, but it's a tool just like anything else. You can choose to use it, you can choose to not use it, you can get great results both ways, but when I was a beginner, this was just a really good kind of simplified way for me to figure out how to put moves together. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can see behind me, I have laid out what looks like a beautiful plus sign, and this is kind of what I want you to see in your head as what you're going to be standing on. So your home is going to be in the center of this plus sign, and you're going to have the x-axis here, and you're going to have the y-axis here. And I want you to use these lines as a guide to help you learn how to think about dancing in three-dimensional space. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about learning how to judge the width of your move and orienting that width so that the move is as aesthetically pleasing as it can be. In order to demonstrate that, let me just show you like a simple running man. As you can see here, doesn't look that exciting, right? Not a lot going on. You can tell that something's happening, but you can't see it because the width of my movement is happening on this XY axis, and you have limited vision of that. If I flip my body and orient myself along the x-axis here, then you can see my move a lot better. The widest part of the running man move is going to be when I'm in this step. So to me, it's going to look best if I orient myself so that the widest part of my move is visible to you. To just give another demonstration, we can just do some little simple V-step footwork here. So you can see the width of this movement is traveling along the x-axis, and you have a full view of everything that's going on. If I orient myself along the y-axis, I do the same thing. Maybe it looks a little cool, you can tell I'm bopping and grooving, but it's hard for you to tell exactly what my feet are doing, and you don't really get a feel for how intricate those foot movements could be. So I would want to orient the width of that movement along the x-axis. I think this concept is why you also see a lot of people when they're doing their running man, if they want to face head on, they push it out to make it wider. So instead of doing this, they might do this. And that increases the width of where that running man is going across the x-axis. Hopefully now you have a pretty good grasp of understanding the width of your movement and understanding how you can choose to orient those moves along your x and y axes in order to kind of get the most flair. So now what I want to dive into is using these lines to understand how to dance in three-dimensional space. Let me demonstrate this showing you a running man and a kick spin, and I'm going to orient using two different methods. Every move that I did, the width of it spanned the x-axis here, and so that it would be dancing in two-dimensional space. So there, I started out doing the running man on the y-axis, kicked on the y-axis, and then I spun and I snapped to the x-axis to continue doing the running man. That's an example of using three dimensions because you're utilizing both directions of the axis in order to combine moves to make them more interesting. So it definitely adds more flair to your flow if you think about trying to dance in three dimensions, but it adds cleanliness to your flow if you're thinking about trying to snap your moves and your transitions to either one axis or the other. So let me show you some examples of ways that you can combine both of these axes in order to make interesting three-dimensional one might be you're here in the middle, you're doing some footwork, the width of it is going along the x-axis, but then you want to transition into your Charleston and you're going to travel up and down the y-axis. Another example might be I'm going to T-step and I'm going to travel along the x-axis, but I'm going to stomp my foot on the y-axis. So this is one move that's combining both axes and working in three-dimensional space. Another move that I see people do a lot, that's a great combination of both directions, is when they do this kind of shape. So when you're putting one foot in front of the other, that's aligning on the y-axis, but when you pop your toes out, that goes along the x-axis. So that's what makes that move look so dynamic. You can use this grid to think about combining multiple moves together, oriented along different axes, using a spin to snap you to a different axis before you go into your second move. So maybe I'll be doing my running man, then I'm gonna gallop to face the other direction, and I go back into the running man. Do some little soccer ball kicks here on the y-axis, then tap my foot on each axis point until I'm facing this way, and then go into the running man. I could do a little bit of footwork here, spin, and then go into running man. I do want to take a second to point out that there are plenty of moves that you can do that are going to look great oriented in either direction. This is just a tool that you can use to help you think about things in a different way, but it's not like a rule that you have to apply to everything. So this isn't something for you to stress out over. This is just, a framework to explore your creativity and have fun with. If you are someone who, like me, when they first started, had a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to create clean transitions, this is just an easy little hack to give you some ideas. So there you have it. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I know it was pretty long-winded and very technical and maybe not what you're used to seeing whenever you click on my videos, but this is a concept that I found extremely helpful when I was first starting out, and I even use it now. I'm definitely not the first person to use a dance grid, but I haven't seen anyone else make a video explaining shuffling moves using the grid, so I wanted to put this out there because I think a lot of you could find it really valuable. I know that when we think about shuffling, we're used to thinking about being really free-flowing and organic and just kind of going wherever the music takes us, and this is not meant to impede on any of that. This is just another tool to put in your tool set whenever you're learning new moves and practicing. Go try it out, but don't let it stress you out. I think the key is always to just keep it fun, because then you're always going to want to keep practicing, and the more you practice, the more it's inevitable that you're going to keep getting better. Don't worry too much about trying to make your moves perfect. Just try to get a little bit better every day, and eventually you're going to get where you want to go. So that's it for today. Until next time, happy shaping, happy shuffling, happy dance gridding, and as usual, let me know in the comments below what you want to learn. I will be doing this little freestyle series for probably the next couple videos, but then I'll get right back into breaking down your favorite moves so that you can learn those as well. So yeah, see you guys later. Love you.